after we learn seated 0 point, and we do practice unity in motion, the first movement of unity in motion, and the first movement in the second section. We don't stay here for very long because it's something that you begin to practice by yourself and become comfortable. Remember that you already know 0 point in the chair. And in unity in motion, we have 4 definitions on 0 point. We have 0 point seated, that you learn in the chair, 0 point standing, which we do the first section, 0 point seated on the floor, cross-legged, and now from here we're going to learn 0 point elongation, which is 0 point lying down. So the way that you're going to do lying down from here, we'll make it a little bit optional for you, and then we'll teach you the form about how it is. Because it's, as it is before, we don't want any stress in you. We want you to learn it very, very comfortable, because balance and comfortability are the same. They are equal. Yeah? Being balanced is being comfortable is being balanced. So we sit in 0 point and we finish the movement of unity and motion. And now I'm going to turn myself around because it's easy for you to see it as and the camera can capture it. So let's say if I am here, seated here, then from there, after the 2 unity and motion, let's finish the last one right here, and then we gather a little sphere here and we're moving back, and your knees will become free. You see your knees become free a little bit here, and you support yourself with your arms here on the floor, and you allow the best symmetrical that you can to allow yourself to go through the floor like that. Wonderful. And here, when you get at this place in the floor, I would recommend for you that you bring the one knee up a little bit like that, and then the left and then the right knee, and we're going to define a placement called natural bended knees. The natural bended knees is important because it's a placement that allows to feel like your hip, you can lift the hip out of the floor very, very naturally and simple, and you can allow to begin to find the coccyx and the sacrum in the floor, because that will become the point of reference from which you define the length of you. In unity and motion, we're always looking for the placement of your spine to be released through the free curves, even when you are on the floor. Because sometimes, for us, when we go into the floor, sometimes when we're thinking about just being on the floor, we're thinking, okay, now I'm relaxing the whole body. So letting yourself go completely. And what we're looking for now is not necessarily relaxing, other than just allowing the mind to be able to find what is the form of your skeleton in the floor, and how do you maintain a sense of energy with it so you are connected to it. So relaxation in unity and motion is more a connection than a letting go. Because when we're letting go, we cut the body from the mind, and then we feel good because we are not in it. So in unity and motion, we learn to be in the body, and we learn to connect it energetically. So relaxation and well-being becomes the sense of unity existing between your mind, your body, and your energy. All right? So returning to natural bended knees is a placement, and here there is that your ankles. I better turn myself around so you can see it. If I go sideways, if you see it from this point, it will look like that, even though I'm lying down. It will be maybe like 4 inches between your heels, and maybe 6, 7 inches between your heels, and it will become like a diamond like that. And what the diamond does is allow then the hip joint to give me direction as I extend myself through the floor. Yeah? You will learn a lot about displacement because we will use it in the second and third section, because it's the beginning of the balance of your hip. Remember that the right and the left of your legs is the balance of your hip, just as the balance of the right and the left arm is the balance of my heart. So that's what we're learning in it. So after we go into remember the natural bended knees, it's important because when you are in natural bended knees, the most minute force that you create in the floor with your feet, it allows the hip to come out of the floor. Exactly. So, and then the hip can be loose. So you define the center of your hip as being the center of symmetry between the right and the left leg. And then from then, after you adjust the coccyx and the floor, then you're extending one leg to the floor and you're extending the other leg to the floor. And then Wonderful. I need to talk to you about now your arms and your spine a little bit. All right? Wonderful. Going back again. So remember, the natural bending knees is the right and the left in your hip. You lift the hip out of the floor to adjust the coccyx when you get to the floor. And then we extend the legs again to allow ourselves to experience the elongation. Now, once you get to the floor and you are extending yourself to the floor, even before your knees are coming up, it's important that you begin to discover that once you extend yourself to the floor, there is an area in the spine here at the level of, we talk about at the level of the delicate heart, the 10th thoracic, that when you begin to slide through it to lying down, you pay attention to elongate the vertebrae through the floor. So remember that when we finish the last time of unity in motion, we bring the energy around, the knees become free, you support yourself with your arms, and you slide. And when you get to this level, right, this level here, you allow then the back of your spine and the vertebra to elongate, so the neck and the head and the throat and the crown become part of the elongation. So lying down, and the definition of 0 point lying down means the definition of the free curves of your spine as they become elongated through you. That's the reason it's called 0 point elongation in the floor. And your arms, when you get to that point, goes to the place called neutral, which is this place right here. And I explain to you the meaning of the arms neutral in a second. Okay? Wonderful. Rolling through it. Find the connection here. Wonderful. Remember that when you are in the first section and also in the chair, we talked to you about foundation, and foundation being the pelvic floor, the first connection in unity in motion. Remember, the first connection of unity in motion is foundation, and then the second connection is crown. Now, in the floor, the connection that we experience in natural 0 point elongation is neutral. It's not so much down to the pelvis, but it's neutral. It's at this level. And it connects the pelvic floor, it connects, the pelvis and the solar plexus, and allow the arms to become balanced as you extend through yourself. So, neutral, as you see it in the floor, I wanted to explain to you that it's a place that it will look like, almost like this when you're on the floor. And it's not too close to me that it closes the shoulder, or too open that it closes the back of the neck. So it's a place that allows the right and the left of your arms to be energized and be energetic in the definition of the spine. Okay? So we're going to do it again, and just, I want you to notice where my arm goes. And it goes to a placement called neutral. So, from C to 0 point, again, here we are, and you, after the practice of unity in motion, then you gather the sphere, you release the knees, you bring in the spine, you support yourself with your arms, and symmetrically, the best way you can, you slide through it, and you allow yourself to one knee go up, and the other knee go up, and you bring your arms right here to this place called neutral. And then from here, neutral, you can elongate one leg, and you can elongate your leg, and here you are. Beautiful. Now, remember neutral, I said to you, if you go very close to you, you close in the shoulder end, so you're open enough, the diamond is a diamond, you're open enough the diamond that you feel that your shoulders and your upper part of your chest and the back part of your scapula are all connected. So you are creating a balanced polarity between right and left, and called neutral. Then, I want you to notice that what I'm avoiding when you go back is the idea that I'm going to extend the chest forward, because sometimes we're thinking, okay, if I open the chest out, I'm really open, but if I do that too much, I shrink in the other back, and my thoracic vertebra then goes around and pushes forward. So what you're looking for in this placement is not so much the idea that you're going to expand the rib cage forward, it's just that you're going to allow your rib cage to relax and extend it through yourself. And the back part of your being is just as important as the front part of your being. So you're defining not so much the extension of your chest, but also the extension of the back and the extension of right and left. Then
also. I want you to notice that my head is quite back here, because sometimes we're thinking, okay, now I'm going to extend my neck. See, I'm doing like that. If I push the neck back and I extend it, I think I'm extending it, but in reality I'm crossing my throat. You see, in my jaw, everything closes, because I push the head into the atlas, and then I use the closing of the head into the atlas to extend the neck. No, what I wanted to do is just to extend very gently through the front and through the back of the neck, so my neck becomes free three-dimensionally here, so I don't feel that I'm extending it by pushing it from the back. Yeah? So it's important that you just begin to sense the form of the skeleton and here. And thus the head then, when it rests on the floor, is in a specific place in the in the back of the skull, right here, that the centralization of the skull allows the right and the left of your arms, the right and the left of your chest, the right and the left of your legs, and the pelvis to experience 0 point right there. So it is called 0 point elongation, because your mental sense of self define the curves and the polarities between legs, arms, and your head, so you can begin to sense that your relaxation and your sense of rest is actually equal as your sense of expansion. So you avoid the sense that relaxation means letting go, and relaxation becomes coming into yourself. Okay? Very gently, and then we roll. Very gently, and here we are again. And now we're going to give you a little tiny bit more information, and then we'll continue with it. Okay, continuing with the definition and information of 0 point elongation. What I would like to show you now is that as we begin to learn to define the symmetry, as we're lowering back, remember to extend from the back as we're talking about, defining neutral with your arms, which it will become more clear as you practice and learn the movements of the second and third section, and then the placement of the head and the skull and the floor as we just talked about it. I would like to talk to you a little bit about the elongation of the legs and the opening of the legs after you come to natural bended knees, how you elongate the legs. And I would like to place pillows under your knees, under your elbows, and maybe a little towel under your head, so you can feel comfortable in the definition of 0 point elongation, because 0 point elongation is a way of suspending yourself by your definition of symmetry, and then by in the beginning by pillows, so you can begin to be comfortable through the pillows and begin to be with the symmetry and the metrics in your body, so you can really rest by allowing your mind to descend into your body. Because for most of us, innocently, the mind is in here and then the body is all right here, and the geometry, the metrics, the directions that we teach you and give us information, it means to allow the mind to descend through the body, so you can begin to sense that your mind travels through your body and eventually repossess the body, to the point that once the mind and the body becomes one, you're totally relaxed, because there's no separation between your sense and your mind and your body. They are one. So this is, in the beginning, the information is important because it's the ABC of how to begin to create the descension of the mind into the body. Okay? So bear with us, and everything will become much more knowledgeable and experiential for you as you do it. All right, so remember, we go 0 point again. And now, once we complete unity in motion, again from crown, remember, you begin to define unity in motion, and you complete in crown, you gather this sphere, and you're moving back. You see the knees already have a sense of diamond, and you release through the spine, and you bring the knees the best you can for now, what's called natural bended knees. You adjust the pelvis, and then you release the spine through you. And now I just put a pillow. I'm going to put a little towel under my head in order to lift me a little bit, so you don't feel like you're so much back. Yeah? And then when you elongate the leg, you see, in the elongation of the leg, I want you to feel like your leg is going to open via the knee a little bit around. So my leg is just not going down like that. You see, just like teeter-totter like that. But on the contrary, it's sliding and opening a little bit to unravel the joint and the hip. So the legs are a little tiny bit rotated around when you extend the leg. The legs are not just like extended linearly. See, if I extend the legs linearly, I feel elongation, but I lose the right and the left. So a little bit of rotation in each knee and the opening on each knee allow the sacrum and the pelvis then to open up in the two halves of my hips, right and left via the legs, and then the extension. So now I'm going to put a pillow under each knee. After I do that, I just go back again. I'm going to sit myself, and now, as a practice, I'm going to put a pillow right under the knee, a little bit closer to my thigh, a little bit right there. So when I go back into it, right here, the high point that my pillow gives to my knee allow me to experience less pressure in the sacrum. So my legs are a little bit more open and more supported. You can put pillows higher than this one, larger pillows if you want to. And you'll begin to notice that it helps you to rotate the right and the left of your legs so you can feel your connection to the abdominal area and the solar plexus. You can also do that with the elbows. You see, you're going to go each elbow. This is a little high, this pillow, but you can put towels in it. So you see the elbow, by being a little bit raised from the floor, a little bit higher, it allows the rib cage to relax in it, and then the connection to become connected. And here I am. I am in 0 point elongation now. And 0 point elongation, the way that my mind perceives that, again, is through the right and the left at the head, the release of the throat, the crown, the right and the left of my arms, which is the diamond, right here. So the arms are coming through the heart, right here at the center of my chest. The rotation of my legs and my hips and the coccyx releases the solar plexus. See, if I go here, like that, extended, you see right that, everything becomes solid, so the center, it grabs. So the opening of the polarities of my cell release the solar plexus, which is right here at the end of the rib cage. In the rib cage, in the front of the rib cage, 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch, right there is the solar plexus. So learning to relax the solar plexus via the right and the left of your legs, via the right and the left of your arms, via the natural length of your neck and your head is fantastic, because then the breath eases up, your mind becomes present with you, and you learn to be here for a while. If you are tired anytime and you wanted to rest for a few moments, go to the bed, put pillows under the knees, get a little pillow under your elbows if you want to, put one pillow, soft pillow under your head, and adjust the coccyx and find the metrics, and we spend time in the metrics. 10 minutes of being with the metrics is like hours of sleep, because everything just eases up in your muscles and ligaments and directions of the skeleton. The mind relaxes because it's connected to your breath and to your feeling. Your feeling relaxes because it's being given meaning by the mind. Your body becomes alive because you're not letting go, but relaxing, but coming into it. So it's fantastic. Okay? So this is very wonderful to practice. 0 point elongation, 0 point seated in the chair, 0 point crisscross, which is a little bit more laborious because you have to really learn how to sit down with your legs and so forth, and then 0 point standing. So, and then breathing. The 10 counts again, going up to the top of the head, descending all the way up to the pelvis via the legs, and then ascending again, all the time, and breathing everywhere. And as you practice, you can find out if you need to adjust your head. And little by little, as you go, you'll begin to say, okay, My sacrum is not completely comfortable, so I have to move it, adjust it, and that will provide change in your knees. If you're changing your knees in your sacrum, you may want to change in the back of your spine a little bit. If you change in the back of your spine, you may want to change elbows and hands and begin to feel, oh, energy in my hands. I feel energy in my hands. Okay, now I want to be in the energy of my hands. So your body will begin to inform you. You will begin to have places that you may feel uncomfortable. And if you're uncomfortable, it's because the symmetry is not released. So just go to that place, find the opening, and begin to spend time in the presence of the matrix.